Okay, so now we are getting into some advanced PBN tactics. So far we've seen how to source PBNs, how I go and find good PBNs, and now we're getting into how we're going to use those PBNs to link to our main site. So far we've built some trust and visibility by creating some social profiles. These are like the Facebook pages, the Instagram, the LinkedIn, the Twitter. We've built some citations, Yelp, Yellow Pages, all these directory citations, directory sites. We've done a couple of press releases maybe, and maybe you can even go out and build some Web 2.0 properties. But in all of these cases, what we've done so far is we've been linking back to our main website using the brand name or using the URL, the domain URL as anchor text. So example, if our website is acorntreeservicepros.com, we are always linking back from all of these so far these citations back to our website using the anchor text acorntreeservicepros.com or www or acorntreeservicepros.com. We are not looking to put an exact match anchor. In our case, the main keyword we're looking to rank would be tree service Akron, Ohio. So we are not putting a linking back from any of these citations to the main website using the exact match anchor, tree service Akron, Ohio, or any of those. All we've been doing is linking from the citations, the press release from the social profiles, back to our website using just the domain URL, okay? Or maybe the brand name. Brand name would be Akron Tree Service Pros, just the name of the company. And the reason is we're just building trust in Google's eyes. We're just building some brand visibility. We're not looking to influence Google to rank for any keyword yet, okay? What we're now going to do is we're getting into PBNs. So far we've seen what PBNs are. We just a refresh. These are expired domains we can buy in different websites. I've shown in previous videos either auction domains or expired domains which have high domain authority, and that means in Google's eyes they are pretty powerful. They have more trust and power in them. And then we are setting them up with in different host accounts to be to link to our main site. And then when we do that, it's going to power up our website. And then we're using specific anchor texts that's going to let Google know what keywords to rank for. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're just setting a bunch of PBN sites and linking back to our website. Now, what do you do to theme the PBN to be relevant to our money site or our main site? So our main site is acorntreeservicepros.com, okay? And then, so we want to link back, we want to create PBNs and make those PBNs relevant to our main site. So these PBNs could have information about either the niche, which is tree service tree removal, or the city, the geolocation, which is Akron, Ohio, or a combination of both. And so we want to make sure that we have a variation of our keyword in the domain URL. If we can buy a PBN that already has a tree service in it or already has Akron, Ohio in it, that'll be awesome. So let's say we came across a PBN that said something like Brian'sTreeService.com, and there was a company named Brian Tree Service, which probably may have been in Vegas for all we know, but then it's an expired domain now. We can buy it, in auction domains preferably. We can buy the domain, and then it already has part of our keyword, which is tree service in it. Brian's Tree Service, it has tree service in it, and that's going to carry a lot of value. But most of the time, we would come across PBNs with just the name of the domain URL, not having a keyword. And so in that case, how do we make our PBN relevant to our money site? We make sure we put variations of a keyword in the title tag of the homepage. I'm going to go through and do an over-the-shoulder series so you understand what I'm talking about. But we buy the domain, and when we set it up, the domain could be about cats for all we know. But when we set it up, we make it somehow related to tree service or Akron or both. And then we can also do variations of a keyword in the title of every post that we do in the homepage of the PBN that we're linking back to the main site. So before I go into doing setting up a PBN the right way. These are some of the anchor text. This is the exact anchor text ratio I actually use to rank my sites. I usually start from my first PBN. I always link back to my main site using the URL, the domain URL. So it'll just be linking back from the PBN, the first PBN, to my main site saying acorntreeservicepros.com. Then I will, from the second PBN, I will probably use just the niche alone, tree service alone. From a third PBN, I would use an anchor text that has a kind of an extra word along with the niche, so maybe an LSI like tree service company. From a fourth PBN, I would just focus on the location now, so just link back to my sites, using Akron, Ohio as the anchor text. My fifth PBN would be a generic anchor text like click here or something. And only after I've done all of these would I even go and link from a PBN using the exact match keyword. So basically, exact match keyword is our main keyword that we're trying to rank for. I would not link from a PBN to my main site using the exact keyword I want to rank for as anchor text until I've done about 4 or 5 or even 6 different PBN links and powered up my sites in different ways. Most of the SEO guys they make the mistake of just linking using the exact match anchor, and that's a big no-no, especially in these days. Google has become more and more smarter and can understand different things. And so if we just go and hit the very first PBN using the exact match anchor, think about it like this, right? How natural is it? Okay, if you're not doing SEO, forget ranking. If you just put up a website and your company name is Acorn Tree Service Pros, naturally, how would backlinks be? How would your website accumulate backlinks? Maybe you're mentioned in blogs, maybe you're written up in some advertisements, maybe you're written up by other websites. And what are the chances they're going to link to your website mentioning, using the exact keyword that you want to rank for? They're probably going to just put a click here, or they're just going to put the URL here, or they're going to put a anchor link back to your company or your website, tree service company, right? And so we want to make it as natural as possible. And so only after we built trust, a lot of trust by our citations and social profiles and all that, and when we get into PBNs, only after we've done about 4 or 5 PBNs using LSI keywords and general anchor text, do we even use an exact match domain. So let's get into an over-the-shoulder video that'll explain to you. Okay, so this is a PBN site that I went ahead and bought. I think I bought it for $12. I must have paid $20, not more than that. It's bodydetoxdiet.net. So in the previous videos, I've shown you how to look for a PBN, how to buy a PBN, how to source PBNs. And so this passed almost all my criteria. It's a website. It was a previous website about body, about detox, about diet. Nothing to do with tree service or tree removal or Akron, Ohio. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this PBN and set it up to be able to rank my tree service website. So I'm going to do that, right? One of the first things I do when I log into WordPress, I put a theme. You can put a simple theme. It doesn't matter what, any kind of a theme. I'm not going to go into details. I go to settings. I go to general. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the previous site title and tagline that already existed, and I'm going to put my site title. Okay, and so basically what that's going to be is something related to tree service. At the same time, I want to see if I can get the previous content, the previous intent of this website to be able to somehow link to my tree service. So I would do something along the lines of, let's say, tree service, diet, and detox. It doesn't matter. No one's going to read exactly. So I'm just going to say tree service, diet, and detox, all about diets for trees. You can even do something like all about diets for trees in Akron, Ohio. So you get the idea here, right? The domain itself was about body detox diet. What we are doing now is we are taking that and we are um, kind of using that to be relevant, theme it for tree service and Akron. So I don't want to just go ahead and say tree service Akron, Ohio. Now that looks spammy. That does not look natural. And if there ever was a manual review by a Google employee, they would easily identify this as a PBN. So we always want to, be in this game for the long haul, and so we just want to do something along the lines of mixing the old relevancy with the new relevancy that we want a theme for, in this case, tree service, and make it look like this is all about diet and detox about trees, and you can put something like in Akron, Ohio, and we go down and we save the changes. So now when I go here and when I open up the site, the title tag over here, you see that it says Tree Service Diet and Detox, all about diets for trees in Akron, Ohio. And so there is some relevancy. The title tag carries a lot of weight, especially the homepage title. And so that talks about tree service a little bit, that talks about Akron, Ohio a little bit, that talks about trees a little bit. So Google understands, this is something to do with trees and tree service. At the same time, if you think about it, the backlinks coming into Body Detox Diet, the PBN site, is probably all about body and detox and diet. And so, it's okay because now we're just theming it and kind of mixing it. I hope I made some sense. So this is the first thing I would do. The second thing is I would go to posts and I would create a new post. Okay, so add new. And what I want to do is I want to put a post over here. I want to create an article that talks about a little bit about diet, a little bit about trees, and make it look like an article about diet for trees. Okay, so just so I don't waste your time, I already had prepared an article. Is really about detox and diet that I went ahead and I ordered, and you can go ahead and order um, content for a few cents, a few dollars every 100 words, 1,000 words, something like that. I usually put in about 500 to 700, maybe maximum 1,000 words post in my PBN. But this is all about detoxification and diets and vegan diet and mono diet for the human being. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit about tree service and Akron over here. So it's themed towards tree service and Akron, Ohio. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a post here. So I'm going to say something like Akron, Ohio's tree service, or Akron, Ohio's popular diets for healthy trees, something along those lines. So we have trees, we have Ohio, Akron, Ohio. If you want to make it tree service, Akron, Ohio's popular diets for healthy tree service, right? So now we have this as our main homepage post, and it's got tree service, it's got Akron, Ohio, some kind of relevancy. And then over here, what I would do is I would go in and put a couple of keywords about tree service in Akron, Ohio, so it looks like it's an article about tree service in Akron, Ohio. So instead of saying, I'm just using common sense, right? Instead of saying for individuals interested in diet program, I would say for individuals interested in diet program for trees through detoxification, several strategies are available as options. I'll make it look like several strategies were developed by University, if I can spell it right, University of Akron, Ohio. Right? I would put a couple of words like this. Now, no one's going to read this. This is a PBN site, and even if somebody did come across and read it, that's the whole intent. If ever there was a Google manual review in this PBN site, our goal is to make sure this looks like a real site. They're going to read this and say, oh, okay, this is something to do with maintaining healthy trees, and this article makes total sense. It's just about diet programs for trees. Maybe there is diet program for trees, and it's an informative article, right? And so you just want to go ahead and write some good content. You don't want to put spun content. You don't want to just put just crappy content. You want to put good content. The whole idea is you want to spend some money creating some good content and invest some money in content in PBNs in citations, because even if you spend a $500, $600, $700 total to rank a website one time, remember that's going to give you a return of investment of $500 a month, month after month. So you might as well do a good job. So just go through it. I don't want to take your time. Let me just pause it and do some wordsmithing to make sure I include tree service and um, Akron, Ohio, and I'll be back. So what I did was I went ahead and added a few words. Like you see here, it says here diet program for trees developed by University of Akron, Ohio. Few of these tree diet plans, so I put the word tree in here. I made simplified tree diet, simplified diet for trees, all about trees and tree service. I put palm trees over here, individuals in Akron, Ohio. The whole idea is to have a few of these words in the content so it makes some sense. It doesn't have to make total sense. I mean, we're just making up a PBN, but we just want to make it look pretty decent and then link to the website. The main thing we want to do is the Google algorithm, when it crawls this PBN site, it sees that this site has power in it. Then it sees that this site talks about tree service and Akron, Ohio. And then we want to use one of our keywords, our anchor text, and link to our main keyword, our main website. So we can go here and say something like, for individuals in Akron, Ohio who are already in a vegan diet, you can put something like, there is a tree service company which specializes in tree diets, right? And then we can go and link this. This is the anchor text we're using in this example. Tree service company. We would go and link it to our main keyword, our main website, Akron Tree servicepros.com, and that's it, right? And what I would recommend is, you can go here and put a couple of images, maybe a YouTube embed video, things like that, so it looks a little bit natural, and then publish it. And voila, you now have a PBN that's themed for tree service in Akron, Ohio, and so that's pushing more relevancy, both location relevancy, geo relevancy, and niche relevancy to the main site. So now if you see the website, our PBN site, bodydetoxdiet.net is the PBN domain, but our title tag says Tree Service Diet and Detox, all about diets for trees in Akron, Ohio. Our homepage post talks about Akron, Ohio's popular diets. This is all about, Akron, Ohio and trees and tree service. And then we link to our website, akrontreeservicepros.com, using an anchor text there, right? And that's the whole idea. Just put up a PBN site. And now, of course, I just put one post here. You want to put a couple of more posts, couple of more pages. Just build out the site a little bit so it looks like a real site. That's the whole idea.